Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that now that I have a bit of time, I can share with you guys what I wanted to share with you. I think it was last week I made that post, about my personal experience with online being coached or trained online versus being coached or trained in person. For many years, I've known about myself that I'm the type of person that likes to be in the moment, or like in it with somebody. I need to see, touch, feel, be in that space with a person, especially when it comes to learning. I enjoy it, I prefer being in a class setting versus learning online. Um, it allows me to step out of, being at home, or sometimes the convenience per se of being at home doesn't help me. There's lots of distractions, dishes, laundry, just things that you know you always feel like there's something to do besides taking time for yourself to do something that means a lot to you. So um for I work at the airport, and with working at the airport comes crazy hours. You know when you come in, you know what time you start, but you don't always know what time you're going to finish. So there's that aspect. There's also really early shifts. Like, I start sometimes at 4 o'clock, so that means I have to wake up at 3. That can be taxing on the body, can be making me tired and stuff. So I decided that when I really wanted to start powerlifting and really looking into competing, which was probably a little over a year ago, I thought, even knowing myself, I thought, let me try online coaching, just because I felt like, I have a bit of an idea of what I'm doing. I could go in for a couple of sessions in person to make sure that my form is correct, and, to make any tweaks. But the majority of my training would be, me doing it alone and just getting a program from a coach. Oftentimes it works very well in the beginning. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to doing something new and exciting and different. And then after maybe a month or two, it just falls apart. I begin finding excuses to not be able to train. And it's not that they're excuses per se, but it's really a matter of, seeing the situation for what it is, and then deciding or making a choice whether or not I'm going to train, carving out the time, or just saying, I just had a 4 to 8 shift. I'm really sleepy. I'm going to go home, take a nap. And by the time I wake up, I have to prepare for my children to come home from school, or I have to take care of them or whatever. So, sorry, I'm looking at my kids. There's a dog, and the dog is playing with my son. He's kind of just watching it. It wants to play with him, and he's just standing there watching it, which is jokes. Anyway, so I'm completely distracted. These children, and they mess you up. Look, he really wants to play okay, let me show y'all. Can I show you guys? Oh, I can't flip this camera around. That's too bad. Anyway, he really wanted to play with him. So yeah, it was just, I ended up just making excuses and losing my motivation to train. Hi, guys. There are the little people.
Did you say that? I got touched by a dog. He just climbed on my leg. I love it. Oh my god.
I don't even know why you're
Okay,
happy.
guys.
I don't know why you're
I'm making
happy.
a video. You can go play.
I don't know why you're happy, because I just farted.
Okay. So yes. And so I did that once, and it didn't work out so great. And then I did it again. And in anything you do, there's always an investment, right? And so especially when you have a big investment, you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth, right? You want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the the time that this coach or trainer is offering you, taking advantage of their knowledge sometimes. Not taking advantage, I don't like that word because it kind of sounds like you're using them, but I mean, these are services that, I'm paying for. So me being, a new personal trainer, I like to understand the why behind the what. And so being able to have the time set out for you with someone, you're paying for their services, it was fun on that aspect. But I realized more towards the end, it wasn't working for me. Just because, again, it's like, if I don't have, like, it's like, at the end of the day, it's up to me. And I think in my life, like, I'm thinking back on various projects that I've done. And even earlier today, I was just, talking to myself about things and realizing that I'm the type of person, I work pretty well under pressure, under stressful circumstances. And also when there is a timeline, when there's an end result, when there's an end goal that has to be reached in time. And that I work very well with that. And if there's nothing, it kind of it makes me lose my focus, and I just kind of dwindle away at this. So I kind of dibble dabble. I don't take it seriously. I don't put any intent into what it is that I'm doing. So, and this is what happens when I, in this online coaching, this is what happened to me. So in the beginning, it's exciting, and even for other things in my life, it's exciting. And then over time, when there's no goal, when there's no end result, when you kind of feel lost and confused, or for me, then I just, I didn't really carve out the time anymore to make that a priority. So, I can now say for myself, even with a crazy schedule, online coaching is not for me. It really isn't. Having someone being accessible, knowledgeable, those are things that, obviously when you have a quick question, you want to be able to reach out and email or text or call somebody. But not having someone with me does not help me. So this past month, I had an in-person coach, and that worked very well. It's like, you have to be here at this time. When are you available? Like, as in me, when am I available? And like I was telling you guys in another video, just learning different things. Like, he stressed the importance of like having a nap 30 minutes before your training session. I was like, what? I never heard that before. And I don't know if it's, it may not be a staple per se. It may not be the thing that every powerlifter does, but I think it's pretty important to be well rested, because a powerlifting session is not the same like a bodybuilding session, right? It's all about like power, right? Lifting heavy for the majority of your workout. So they're going to be much shorter and much more taxing on the body, which makes sense about getting a rest. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, before I would take advantage of being already awake after an early morning shift starting at 4, finishing at 8 or maybe 10 o'clock, and then going to train, you know what I mean? And not realizing that, hey, Giselle, your body is tired. You can't do this. And so those things are huge for me. So just having someone to physically hold me accountable helps me to be the best person that I can. And I know that, I don't know, I feel that yes, there is always room to improve, and that if I'm in a position where, I'm in a position again where I don't have a choice but to get an online trainer, I mean, I know myself well enough to know what it is I need to do, but I would prefer not to do this online. I need to have someone in person with me, to help me, like, even with the loads I was doing, right? Like, I didn't really know where to start. I didn't know, I figured, oh, well, this feels pretty challenging, so I'm just going to stay here, not realizing that powerlifting, I mean, not every lift has to look like you're about to die, but it's supposed to be heavy, you know what I mean? And so when I was with this coach and he's like, oh, no, you can't be lifting these weights. Here, try this. And I did it. It's like, oh, okay, so I can actually lift that, you know. So there's just a lot for me that was different from having a online trainer to a in-person trainer, and it has nothing to do with the person themselves, with the coach themselves. I think that, you know, me coming in, I didn't really know what I was doing. So so I kind of just, you know, underestimated, or, you know, kind of took it slow and kind of went below, or was, I don't know, conservative with my lifts. And I mean, it is what it is. And, you know, and now I know where I stand. Now I know what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, what I need to work on. And that is the most important for me. So that's my experience. If you have any questions, comments, you want to chat more about it, then I'm more than happy to hear. So that's it for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something about yourself too, and learned a little bit more about me. And see you next time. Bye.